Hey everybody, welcome back. Today is Monday. We are starting a new week and we are starting all okay. It's fine. Bitcoin's current price is 78,719. We will be talking a lot. That's it. We're going to be talking a lot tonight, so get ready. Okay, first thing, I want to change my desk height. I'm going lower this time, which means I might have to adjust the mic. Hold on. Yeah, some mic adjustment ASMR. Should have done this before the stream, but anyway. So, we'll be talking a lot about Trump's response to this whole Epstein situation. I know we've been talking about Epstein for the past 28 million years, but I think this time we could probably put it to a rest. I think the majority of it has already been covered by us, and ultimately, last thing is Trump's response to it all, like I said. So, not only that, but also Trump's response to other stuff in terms of the World Liberty Finance thing that we talked about, the whole Crown Prince of Dubai or Abu Dhabi or United Arab Emirates someplace apparently taking a stake or getting a position sold from a Trump family member. Trump did comment on that in a press conference today, so we'll be discussing that. Trade deal with India. That's a pretty decent, I guess, a step in the right direction, especially when it comes to the Ukraine war and all that stuff. So we'll be getting into that. We got economic data, and we will not be getting economic data. We'll be talking about that, as well as the big dogs, Michael Saylor, Tom Lee, MicroStrategy, Michael, I said that. What's the other guy's name? Justin Sun and CZ. A little bit more about them, little updates. So it should be a good one. Let's have a look now. Bitcoin's my average price at 84,461. What do we do here? I kind of don't want to buy. Yesterday was the perfect time to buy, and I did buy it. Although, yeah, as soon as I bought, we immediately proceeded to make a new low. Absolute cinema, comic, but whatever. Right here, I really don't even want to buy. I probably should still, just because I have the money available. But we're still in a downtrend, and I really don't want to buy. I'm only putting 250 in, just as a respect. Like, come on, I was buying 250 at these prices, at 89,000. Why not buy it at 78,000? Am I right? It hurts, but fine. I'll drop it a little bit. We dropped the average price by $200. Nice. You put in 200, you reduce price by 200. I don't know how the math works like that, but it somehow worked. Hyperliquid having an amazing day. The rest of alts are barely recovering, if you want to call this a recovery. Monero is just too strong, so it can tank another 5% downward day. No, not a big deal. Anyways, what do we expect for Bitcoin? 80,000, of course, being its immediate resistance. Support level, what do we even have anymore as a support other than 75, 74,000? And then it's looking like 71,500 might be another support level. Of course, 70,000 itself as a psychological level. And then 66,000 support level 2. I'm refreshing my page because this is really laggy and my PC is overheating already from looking at a chart. God forbid I try to run a game on this computer. So here we are. I've been talking about 66,000 being like the absolute worst case, lowest point ever scenario on Bitcoin. We're never going to see anything lower than 66,000. That means the price can go down there. Will it actually though? I really don't think so. What is the reason? Give me a good reason. Oh, that Kevin Warsh is too hawkish. Dude, that was in 2008. I was playing with Legos at the time. The guy's not hawkish anymore, okay? And I'm no longer 8. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. And that was one of the main requirements to get hired under that position is you must be willing to cut rates. That's Trump's #1 priority. Otherwise, he would not have picked the guy. He would have picked Scott Bessent, literally. But no. I think Kevin Warsh is a decent pick, but a lot of people are already giving him criticisms, which, sure, I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, but as long as he cuts the rates, I guess we're fine. Responsibly, of course. We don't want them to be cut immediately to 1% just because the president said so, because, yeah, sure, I give you permission to crash markets if that will be the case. Fed is supposed to be something independent from, you know, the government. They're not supposed to play politics, as Powell is accused of doing. I don't think he's really doing it, but it's suspicious. The moves he's been making, suspicious. Deciding to cut 50 basis points to kind of save Biden. Cutting rates until Trump gets elected, stopping rates as soon as Trump gets elected. Trump is begging the guy, please cut rates every single time. Powell does not cut rates until literally we're in the middle of a government shutdown and we're going into this economic potential crisis because we don't know what the economic data is. We don't know if we're getting bad jobs numbers or the inflation, everything. So we're doing it as a risk management kind of cut. And then now that Powell is about to leave, he's like, I'm done cutting rates. I'm just not going to cut for the rest of my term. And he leaves in May. That is when Kevin Warsh will join. Next FOMC meeting happens in June. And then the rates start getting cut. At least that's what it shows with the probabilities that we see on the Federal FedWatch tool. FedWatch. The CME FedWatch. So that's the story. Really, are we crashing markets because of that? Doesn't deserve to, in my opinion. War with Iran, nothing ever happens. We're still waiting. People are still dying, as far as I know, right? I don't even know. Are protests even still raging on? Have we just gotten bored of that subject and moved on? We can't even protect protesters in our own city, and not in our own city. Well, Minneapolis is not my city, but I guess you get the point. Do we really even care about the protesters? What are we waiting for? Perfect blow to ensure Iran does not retaliate? We want to give them a strike that will ensure a regime change. What is all this military stuff doing over there in the Middle East? Is it just for show to try to get these guys to the table? Look, man, we're about to bomb you if you don't come to the table. Negotiate. We'll see. Efforts to stop the war in Ukraine, those are at least still kind of underway. Although they were supposed to be stopped 24 hours as soon as Trump assumed presidency, didn't happen. So we're still here, which he admittedly said, yeah, you know what, it's a little too tough, but we're trying. Okay. Still waiting, I guess. That's fine. And then, you know, we're putting tariffs on India because they're buying Russian oil. That seems to have come to a halt, which I'll be getting into later. I should stop alluding to it. Okay, those are potential reasons for the crash. Okay. We technically do have a government shutdown. It's like a partial one or something. It's like a temporary one. I don't even know what to call it. It's a government shutdown nonetheless. And, well, we got some economic data today, but we're not getting non-farm payroll data. Spoiler alert. I know how crazy that sounds, but here we go again. I don't know what the goal is, but whatever. We'll let them do whatever they have to do. So super trend on Bitcoin has not changed in terms of resistance levels. I know I've been talking about downside a lot. Let's talk about the upside. I do expect it to rise back above 80,000, of course, rising toward anything around 85 to 86,000 seems appropriate to me. A couple of things converging, as I've mentioned in previous streams, would be the downtrend line itself, resistance pivot level, and not Fibonacci. What is this? The super trend, right? Hey, I did kind of allude to Fibonacci. I wonder where Fibonacci levels would be. And where would I even draw it? Let me go to a daily chart for this. This looks messy. All these buyings, like these labels popping up in my face every time. It's kind of annoying, but let me try drawing this. So 80,000 is perfect. It's looking like 83, 84,000. Dude, I'm just finding levels everywhere. And then 86,000, 86, 85, 86 seems to be an important resistance as well. This monthly pivot, I guess we could kind of ignore. Sure, we might see a bit of a resistance there, but won't be a big deal. Huge liquidations from this area to this area. This resistance at 92,000, 93. A lot of liquidations are ready there. Even here, it's 1 billion worth of liquidations if we rise up to 80,000. And in Bitcoin's numbers, $1 billion is not that much money. Sorry. Let me go back to a 4-hour chart here. This is kind of what we're seeing for now. I think that looks great. The 86,000, 85, 86. Now, what does this mean? I feel like that's like a really important resistance line that's not going to be broken really easily, right? If this week is to turn out well, I'm talking about this week only. It might be that we drop again from whatever peak we hit around 85, 86,000. So we might see, I don't know, the price kind of do something like this for this week. I'm hoping at least. Because honestly, why are we even down here? Now, that doesn't mean that we will be exiting the downtrend. No, this could continue just the downtrend and prolong it for a while longer. If people are still bearish overall for the next week, yeah, we could eventually retest 80,000 as a support in this case, and then potentially head lower, make a new low, etc. But for the time being, this is our low, 74,567. So this is the Fibonacci levels that we can use and draw out. That's what I see for the markets. And if this does happen, what would I even do? Would I close my position in the green? I probably might and rebuy, but then how long is it going to take for me to rebuy everything? It's either I do that and, you know, avoid myself the risk on Bitcoin. I never will short Bitcoin, by the way. So it's either I buy or I sell. And by sell, I mean I exit a buy position, not I open a short position. So if this is supposed to happen on Bitcoin, I would exit my position here and I would ideally rebuy lower. That is in a perfect world where whatever I draw on the charts plays out. Now, normally that doesn't happen because it's me versus the world. So if this does like test this and then immediately continue rising again, I probably would have to rebuy the same position I have a little higher, which that would not be ideal. I'm better off just holding on to my position here as it is. But sure, I'd be missing out on a potential rise and potentially having a great average price, 84,000. That's pretty good. So it's either that or maybe I'd take the gamble and rebuy at a better price. I don't know how frequently I'll be distributing my entries though. That's something I'd have to determine later. Even at a distance of, how even far is this from my average price? A drop of 6.5% means $1,600 for me. I don't know. Dude, I also figured out, what am I going to do with my life, dude? This work that I'm doing, this job that I have, sorry, I just said a slur there. It's, first of all, I'm getting kind of scammed. Kind of. Because the pay rate that I was initially offered apparently is no longer offered because of, I'm just going to say it, dude. They're a bit all over the place, unorganized. I don't know how to really say it. Maybe this is like the consequences of like doing remote work, doing everything from home. You're not the center of attention. You're not physically there at the office. They're like, oh yeah, this guy, right. Let me just ensure that he's got all the stuff up to date. Let me just ensure that he's receiving all these emails that we said we were going to send him. And then, you know, me just patiently waiting here like, yeah, so where's my employment contract, by the way? I got the employment contract. It told me a specific pay rate, which I was okay with. You know what? Fine. I do have experience in the field, and I'm getting paid above the average worker that works there. Ideally, right? So I got my paycheck, which I literally saw it happen live. And I realized, you know what, the pay amount is a little too low. So I decided to do some investigating, look into my pay stub. And the rate is basically minimum wage. And I'm like, dude, this is not what I signed up for. It was a little higher than that. I know, right? Me complaining about minimum wage work, whatever, dude. So then I asked them like, hey, my employment contract said it was a little higher than this amount. Can you review that? The guy's like, no, that's not what your employment contract says. I literally have it right here, and this is what it says. You're getting paid minimum wage. Everybody is. And I'm like, dude, that's just not right. The only explanation I could see from that is because I did have I was going into a different department, which probably was going to pay me more. But then last minute, they realized, oh, this department that I was about to enter, it's only work from office. There's no work from home positions for that. So we're going to change you, because you signed up for a remote position, to a department that does allow work from home. So I did get that change over, and they changed my schedule multiple times. And I had to kind of relearn some stuff, but that's okay. I don't know, I was comfortable with the original thing I was about to enter, the original department. But no, I guess I got switched over. And yeah, I guess while that switchover happened, so did my pay rate. Also got reduced. Against my knowledge, by the way, so I found out the hard way after slaving away for a month. But that's okay, dude. Uh, whatever. Like, what am I gonna do? I guess I gotta stick with it for now. Until I find something else, I guess. That's the only other option. But I don't want to go through that whole process again. And it's taking up so much of my time. I literally have no time to breathe in between phone calls that I make. And it's a bit overwhelming. A little bit. Me complaining about this, dude, that's crazy. Me complaining about talking. I literally talk for a living, and I talk for your entertainment at this point. Like, I make a show every night. So, I mean, it's good for me, I guess. I try to improve my speech pattern. It was started off terribly. I think it's still a little bad, but I'm kind of improving, I feel like. I feel a bit more confident when I speak now. So that's, personal development, things that take time to grow. So there's that good aspect about it. But then, I don't know. I also got a big death threat today, which is pretty awesome. I don't really get that all the time. Some guy told me he was going to go and shoot up the stores that I work at. I'm like, okay, dude, well... I was literally silent. I was in shock. Okay, he spiked my cortisol. I felt it. And then he's like, oh yeah, you're silent now, huh? Because he was getting upset that we were calling him or something. I'm like, dude, it's not that serious. Yeah, whatever. I can't go into too much details because of privacy stuff, and I don't want to get fired yet. But yeah, then he threatened to shoot us, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. What am I going to respond to that? I can't. I wanted to, clap back at him, of course, defend myself, stand my ground, show him who is actually wearing the pants in this phone call. But I can't because their phone calls are recorded and I might get fired if I stand up too hard for myself, right? So I can't insult the guy or anything. Not that I was going to do that anyway. I don't have it in me to insult people anymore. Right? Yeah, cool. I'm a changed man, okay? And I don't really do that kind of stuff anymore. So when he did that, he did put me into a bit of this shock position. I'm like, okay, well, that's a death threat, man. What am I gonna do about this? And he's like, yeah, so you're silent now, huh? I'm like, well, what am I gonna say to that, dude? Just okay, you know what? Fine, whatever. I'll stop calling you. Just don't kill us, please. So there was that. I told the manager, he's like, yeah, next time call the cops. So I'm like, okay, good to know. Afterwards, no, that's really it. Little story. Okay, what do we have for Ethereum? So far, following the trajectory, little steps. Seems like this kind of fell down, 2,729, and dropping is the super trend level. So, I mean, the resistance that I was expecting to see might come a little sooner. I don't know. I still feel like it's going to be around this area. Anything sub 2,800 to 2,700 and, well, 2,700 really. I don't know how low this is going to go. But that's where we might see a bit of a resistance, is what I would see, because of same deal what we were seeing with Bitcoin. Downtrend line, pivot resistance, and super trend line. Arguably Fibonacci, I don't even want to risk drawing it. It's probably going to look horrible. But yeah. Yeah, see, there's not even a high point here. The high point is here. How am I supposed to draw this? From all-time high then? All-time high makes sense, but then is this even our lowest point that we will ever hit? Probably. What was our lowest? 2,156 on Ethereum. All right. Hey, look at that. It looks great. It actually looks decent. Right there. Right in line with it. 2,800 is where that Fibonacci line is. Not bad. Not bad at all. So it might take a while though. We're of course only starting out the week. So yeah, I still have a good expectation for this week toward the upside. Despite everything that's going on, what is even going on, we should be fine. I feel like we should rise with it. Not financial advice, of course. We're still in a downtrend. This is me just kind of predicting a reversal, hoping that whatever we just saw over the weekend was indeed the bottom. And what to expect afterwards, of course. I'm going to delete this. Or maybe I should keep it there. I don't know. I decided to keep this drawing here to see how well my prediction plays out over the course of the week. So we'll see. I have no thoughts on Solana at this point. We made a new low. Okay, that's not good. When did this happen? It happened during the stream? It must have happened during the stream, yeah. We dropped to a low of $95.87 now. Lovely. Still no actual closure below 100. I guess this one was closed below 100. $99.96. Come on, I think we can give it a pass. Resistance on Solana is 120, 119. Current price is $103.35. Very oversold. Reversal is deserved. So let's see. Let's see how it goes. Hyperliquid making new highs. Let's go. $35.96. We're about to break 36. That is where we have our resistance level. Will we stop there? I really don't think so, honestly. Hyperliquid, it's been doing really good. It's probably going to rise to 40. 40 is the next stop. So have a look at that. Uptrend, very solid, very strong. A little difficult to draw an actual uptrend, but I mean, it's still technically there. So it's got that going for it. Any particular reason why Hyperliquid is rising? I would just assume it's commodities trading volume still. Like that's the only real reason for this thing to rise. Crypto is not hot. What is hot is commodities. Even after this big crash, there's still trillions coming in and out, if not hundreds of billions at least. Where is Hyperliquid? I skipped it completely. Why are we up? HIP-4 prediction markets have launched. Hyperliquid announced the testnet launch of HIP-4, enabling fully collateralized prediction markets and options like derivatives. This follows strong demand for alternatives to leverage perpetuals. Interesting. So we have another prediction market. Let's go. That's going to be another narrative that's going to hit the crypto space, you know? It's the prediction markets. So here we go. One from Hyperliquid. Is it live now? Can I like access it? HIP-4. Can I bet millions on Jerome Powell? Okay, well it's a kid's book now. HIP-4. Do I have to go to Hyperliquid itself? I'm banned from Hyperliquid. I'm IP banned. How am I going to access it? I have to change my location to like Asia. How do I change my location? Please let me change location. Asia. Hyperliquid. Let's go. It's going to be laggy because, not laggy, but slow loading. Because I have to connect to servers across the hemisphere. What is this? Oh, OpenAI. Oh, it saved my search. Thanks, I guess. Here's, of course, silver and gold, the most traded stuff, of course. Who would have thought? Where is this thing? Is it even live yet? Oh no, their testnet was launched. Didn't I just read that? Yeah, it's the testnet. So mainnet is not even out yet. When does HIP-4 launch? It introduces outcome trading for prediction markets and option style. We know it was officially announced today. So it was just announced today. That's part of the reason why we're rising for it. Roadmap. Testnet launch currently right now. Mainnet launch will happen when? Following a successful testnet. Okay, well, we're still waiting then, I guess. And then phase 3, potential permissionless listing. That would be great. Okay, so we don't know for sure yet, but it was announced today. Good. Well, there you go. News that we accidentally talked about. Lovely. Let me change my location back to Europe, because we love Europe. There you go. Hyperliquid closing in on 36. We just hit it, actually. $36.02. Lovely. I expect good stuff for Hyperliquid still. Get out of the way. SUI. It says it's up 1%. Does this look like it's up 1%? Yeah, barely. Okay. No thoughts on SUI as well. No thoughts on Solana or SUI. Nor Aptos. Just getting these out of the way, honestly. They're still in their downtrend. They're making newer lows. Really not much else to say about it. Bottom, who knows where that is. It's not in my sight. I can't see where that bottom is going to be. For Chainlink, though, I have a special place in my heart for Chainlink. Anything $8, great. Support level 1, worst of the worst for Chainlink drop could be at $8.18 if we are to continue this down movement. Otherwise, I'd wait patiently for, you know, a breakout, which it's looking like anything above 11.26 as of right now. Anything above 11, I think, would confirm a reversal in the trend, an uptrend, and that's the good time to start longing if you want to kind of try to get into it early and safely. Obviously with a stop loss, right, wherever uptrend invalidates, because when the uptrend does invalidate, you go into a downtrend and you make newer lows, and you don't want to be with an open position long having new lows being made on this chart. So God protect you if that is the case. Same deal with BitTensor, but I still feel like BitTensor reversal is likely, especially looking at the weekly charts for not Hyperliquid, Chainlink, and for BitTensor. And I've also talked about Litecoin. Their weekly charts look great for buying, especially with the max supply in their favor, right? The anti-inflationary status of it all. Yes, they're still being mined or created, minted, whatever the case is, but it's only, you know, for a certain period of time. And those tokens will stick around for a while. So here we have BitTensor trying to go above 200. We hit a high of 206 today, but ultimately we got rejected at that level. Current price is 196, but we're trying. The downtrend invalidates for it at around 230, 229 is where it specifically is at. Resistance is at 227. So, you know, pay attention how this reacts. And we got the same deal here, right? Downtrend line, down super trend, resistance 1. Arguably Fibonacci if I was to draw one from maybe here. The high we hit at 302. Could be. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's perfect actually. 225. Almost 226. 225.9, right? That's where I'd look at as an important support. I mean, resistance. Current resistance that we saw was at 207. Like I said, we just hit a high of 206, so that one kind of worked. Looks like it's on the right track, if indeed 178 is the bottom for BitTensor. If it isn't, then ignore everything I'm talking about, and we're about to head a lot lower with the price, and also wherever downtrend invalidates and resistance breakout happens, wherever that is. Yeah, that is it. I have no thoughts on Aptos, like I said. So there you go, making new lows on Aptos. Okay, so that's all we have for these darn cryptocurrencies. Let's talk about some of the news now. Welcome to the news segment. You know, I got a change on my YouTube thing. The timestamps of, like, how do I even call it? Like crypto analysis and then the news. Does that even make sense? News segment, news part, crypto news. It's not even crypto news half the time. It's like geopolitics. But then I do kind of tie it into crypto. Because, I mean, ultimately, we do have the crypto president in power, whether you like him or not. Anyways, Donald Trump spoke with the Prime Minister Modi of India, talking about a trade deal. He posted this on Truth Social. Let's get into it. So he says, "It was an honor to speak with Prime Minister Modi of India this morning. He was one of my greatest friends and a powerful and respected leader of his country. We spoke about many things, including trade and ending the war with Russia-Ukraine. Here's the big stuff. He agreed to stop buying Russian oil and to buy much more from the United States and potentially Venezuela, which now belongs to the United States. This will help end the war in Ukraine, which is taking place right now, with thousands of people dying each and every week, which is sad. Out of friendship and respect for Prime Minister Modi, and as per his request, effective immediately, we agreed to a trade deal between the United States and India, whereby the United States will charge a reduced reciprocal tariff, lowering it from 25 to 18%. They will likewise move forward to reduce their tariffs and non-tariff barriers against the United States to 0. That's a pretty good deal. We get a 0% tariff from India, and yet we still charge them a tariff. Although it's not 25, it's down to 18%. This honestly looks like a one-sided deal, just like every other deal that's ever existed with the United States. But hey, at least Trump makes them respect the United States, so that's kind of what I want to see in a president. Biden could never. Neither could Kamala. The Prime Minister also committed to buy American at a much higher level, in addition to over $500 billion of U.S. energy, technology, agricultural, coal, and many other products. Our amazing relationship with India will be even stronger going forward. Prime Minister Modi and I are two people that get things done, something that cannot be said for most. Thank you for your attention to the matter." Okay. The stuff I'm going to talk about here is the Russian oil. This is important. So India agrees to reduce tariffs on the United States to 0%, and they will stop buying the Russian oil. This is important because we don't want India buying Russian oil. They're the biggest buyers of Russian oil. We want to... It seems like our tactic here to stop wars is to destabilize the economies of countries, right? We've kind of done it with Venezuela by sanctioning all their oil. We're kind of doing it with Iran, same deal, sanctioning their oil, and now also putting tariffs on any country that trades with Iran so that they stop trading with Iran. And the same deal is with Russia, Ukraine. We want Russia to stop attacking Ukraine. So how do we do this? We start pressuring them economically. We already have them heavily sanctioned, but what else can we do? Tariff the country that is buying the most of their oil. We don't want people buying Russian oil to destabilize the economy. The biggest person, of course, the biggest country that's buying Russian oil is India. So we put the 25% tariff on India. This happened many months ago and last year. And now they will stop and they will buy our oil and Venezuela's, which belongs to us. I say us. I sound like a communist here, but no, look, whatever. I'm not American. That's the gist of the joke. In return, the US would reduce the tariffs from 25% to 18%. They're still getting charged a tariff. So where's the benefit? A reduced tariff? Sure. And India will also be buying US oil. Yeah. I don't see how this is any much of a win for India, but I mean, maybe if they got like a crazy good deal on that oil, maybe. Like Trump says, look, man, we've got all this oil from Venezuela, more than what Russia could ever have, and we'll sell it to you for very cheap if you stop buying Russian oil. And India's like, oh yeah, cheaper oil? Sure. Sure, we'll stop buying it from Russia. I know they're our allies and everything, but yeah, we kind of are indirectly funding the war that is going on, so I guess it's the only good thing to do. The only wise thing to do. Why is he pointing his finger at him? Nice. Okay, cool. I like it. Good for Donald. Speaking of the other wars that is going on in Iran. Yeah, it's bogus. Iran is willing to shut down nuclear programs as the US officials head to Istanbul, into Turkey. We got Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the two big dogs. They're expected to meet Iran's foreign minister on Friday, with Turkey, Qatar, and Egypt officials who will also be attending. It's going to be in Turkey. It's the first face-to-face talks since Trump moved his armada into striking range. Iran is offering major concessions. Seems like we're going to de-escalate it and hopefully not go to an actual war. They're willing to suspend the nuclear program, and they have already sent Ali Larijani to Moscow with a message from Khamenei that Iran could ship its enriched uranium stockpile to Russia like they did under the 2015 deal. So we're going to give it okay, Iran is going to give everything up to Russia. And it seems like that's the plane that left Iran to Moscow, by the way. We talked about this in a couple of streams ago, thinking like, is Ayatollah fleeing the country? Is a war about to happen this weekend? No, it turns out it was just this irrelevant guy, Ali Larijani, who went to Moscow to talk, I guess. That's all it was. Because we saw a government plane leave. We're like, dude, that's it. Khamenei is leaving. He's fleeing to Moscow as planned. We're going to attack this weekend. No, nothing ever happens. Hey, good that it doesn't, though. But I kind of wanted to, like, okay, get something done. Get a deal, you know, make our crypto rise. Or, you know, go to war, make our crypto drop, and then we get it over with. No more war ever. No retaliation strike from Iran because they're so destroyed. And then, you know, we celebrate and rise again. Something, get something done, right? We don't want this story in the background all the time because it's annoying. It's keeping this downward pressure on crypto, sure, admittedly. Get something done, right? So that was my thoughts on it all. Let's go. Let's talk about Epstein again. Trump says, I can't believe you're still asking me about Epstein. Jeez, get it over with. Yeah, I can't believe it either, honestly. Why are we still talking about the guy? No, but it is important. We had all those, 3 million files that were just released. A lot of stuff to cover, which we did. Huge stuff, incriminating evidence, but nobody's gonna be held accountable and at the end of the day, so who cares? Trump said, well, he confirmed today in the press conference, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Frankly, the DOJ should just say, we have other things to do. He also posted this on Truth Social saying, not only wasn't I friendly with Jeffrey Epstein, but based upon information that has just been released by the Department of Justice, not Justin, Epstein and a sleazebag lying author named Michael Wolff conspired in order to damage me and or my presidency. So much for the radical left's hope against hope, some of whom I'll be suing. Oh, take that. Additionally, unlike so many people that like to talk trash, I never went to the infested Epstein Island, but almost all of these crooked Democrats and their donors did. So he's basically saying all these Democrats trying to push for these Epstein files to get released, it backfired. It's only Democrats with Epstein, barely any Republicans or, Trump himself. But, I mean, we kind of know. Trump is noted. His name is on there a lot of times. And they're like, oh, that's just accusations and none of them have evidence. It's just people trying to damage my reputation. Which there is evidence of that too, right? Jeffrey Epstein coordinating with whatever the Wolf guy's name is to damage Trump's reputation in the presidency, etc., which Trump will now be pressing charges against that. Trump confirms the Epstein files just backfired massively on the left and they're about to retreat from the issue. Epstein was conspiring with a writer for me to lose the election. So it's not, why would your friend Jeffrey Epstein try to make you lose the presidential elections? Is basically Trump's argument here. So I was clearly not friends with the guy. Leave me alone. And I found out that as soon as he was doing the creepy, weird stuff, I stopped. I cut ties with him completely and I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. That's the whole Trump side of it. It's hitting back on the Democrats because of Bill Clinton. It's turning out to be the Democrats who conspired with Epstein. You're going to see a little bit of a pullback from them. They're reaping the consequences now. I want to talk about... Oh, well... Come on. Here we go. Since we're on the topic of the Clintons, Bill and Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify before the House Oversight Committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Cool. They're taking accountability. Release the Epstein files. What the F? Funny. Alright, cool. Great. Reporter also asked Trump, are you going to sue Trevor Noah? Who is this man? Trevor Noah. Ah, this guy. Okay, he made a joke on Trump, right? A joke about Epstein to Donald Trump at the Grammys. Yeah, good luck. Trump says, yeah, well, he said I spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's island and I didn't. He's a lightweight, this guy. I think he's terrible. I thought he did a terrible job at the Grammys. Wow. I thought the whole Grammys was terrible. Based. All it was, wasn't it just, sure, we got a nice testimony from one rapper. I forget his name. I feel bad. He had a lot of tattoos, but he was talking good about, Jesus and my wife and God. It was great. It was cool to see that testimony. But then you have other people like Billie Eilish and I think Sabrina Carpenter. Dude, I don't know. I don't know these women. I don't listen to their music. They're like, I hate ICE. We're on stolen land, guys. Feel bad for being white. And that's the whole gist of it. It's like, dude, get out of here. Focus on making trash music for other women to listen to. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, so Trump thinks Grammys suck. I watched part of it. It's not watchable. But he was a lousy host, I'd say. Not as bad as Jimmy Kimmel, but pretty close. Wow, taking a dig at Jimmy Kimmel as well. The Grammys, though, like... Am I even talking about the right thing? I just saw, like, some clips on Instagram, and that was it. What is this? Okay, well, that's spooky. Okay. Jelly Roll. This is the guy that I was talking about. The guy praising Jesus. This guy. That was cool to see. So I was right. This is the Grammys then. Where is Billie Eilish? Please. Surely we talk. Here she is. Billie Eilish on stage, and there's Sabrina Carpenter saying, nobody is illegal on stolen land. F ICE. Cool speech. Thank you. Alright, anyways. Bad Bunny is also there. Before I thank God, I'm going to say Ice Out. Oh, okay. Who is this? Who is Kehlani? Ice Out pin. They're like all anti-ice, which is like the whole gist of it, which that is probably why Donald is not a fan of these people. Here's the Trevor Noah, was that his name? Talking about, anyways. Nicki Minaj doesn't follow the cult, so we're going to use her as an example that you can't leave the cult unharmed. What? Alright, relax, pal. Oh, he actually talked about it on Truth Social too. The Grammy Awards are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS is lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer. The host, Trevor Noah, whoever he may be, yeah, my question too, who is this guy? He's almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel at the Low Ratings Academy Awards. Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on Epstein Island. Wrong. I can't speak for Bill, but I have never been to the island, nor anywhere close, and until tonight's false and defamatory statement have never been accused of being there, not even by the fake news media. Noah, a total loser, better get his facts straight, and get them straight fast. Looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC, and suing him for plenty dollars. Ask little George Slopadopoulos and others how all worked out. Who is this guy? Little George Slopadopoulos. What? Also ask CBS. Get ready, Noah. I'm gonna have some fun with you. Ooh. Alright. Trump is not the only one that's, like, gonna be suing for defamatory, oh, you were on the Jeffrey Epstein Island stuff. No, I also saw one post from Sneeko, some other YouTuber, or I don't even know if he's on YouTube. I think he is. Talking about Piers Morgan, because Piers Morgan had a picture with Ghislaine Maxwell. Piers Morgan, of course, news reporter as well from the UK, saying, hey, what were you doing on the island? And Piers was like, hey, man, delete this or else I'm suing you. And then Sneeko deletes it and he's like, haha, look, guys, I got him to delete the post. Aren't I cool? Yes, you are. So Trump continues here with this whole Epstein stuff, mainly taking a dig at the people who made these files come out. So the Democrats and some of the Republicans. Marjorie Taylor Greene, he already bullied out of office. She is long gone. Poor Marjorie. Thomas Massie, also part of it, which we're going to talk about here. Nancy Mace, whom we love Nancy Mace, but she hasn't really been talked about. And what about Lauren Boebert? I've heard nothing about that lady ever. But anyways, Thomas Massie is the next victim here. Trump says, people are saying that Thomas Massie became a liberal because of his new wife. Blessed be their marriage. Apparently she is a radical left flamethrower. This new union all went so fast that maybe he didn't know what he was getting into. But nevertheless, he is an absolutely terrible and unreliable Republican, quote unquote. Perhaps a rhino, Republican in name only. Or maybe even worse. Ed Gallrain, a farmer and war hero, he is running against Massie. He is a high-quality individual, and there is no candidate for Congress that could be better. He is running because he realizes that Thomas Massie has been totally disloyal to the President of the United States and the Republican Party. He never votes for us. He always goes with the Democrats. Thomas Massie is a complete and total disaster. We must make sure he loses big. Okay, so there you go. Trump's already giving his full endorsement for anybody opposing Thomas Massie. At Kentucky is the state where he represents. Interesting. We'll see what happens, what comes of that. A little bit of drama. So we talked about this post before. Abu Dhabi Royal made a secret deal in Trump's World Liberty Financial for access to AI chips, is what was allegedly talked about, where he took a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial for $500 million. Crazy. And Trump was asked about this by reporters saying that, hey, what happened about this Abu Dhabi investment? Trump says that he was unaware of the $500 million investment into his World Liberty Financial crypto project. He says, I don't know about it. My sons are handling that. I guess they get investments from people. And then he proceeded to just glaze crypto, like, guys, I'm the best president. I like crypto. I'm the most crypto-friendly president. So people are saying it was an open pre-sale. I mean, yeah, but shouldn't the company holders still hold whatever percentage? they were selling only a portion of the pre-sale. No, they were selling a portion of the company as a pre-sale, not 50% of it all. And if this guy, Abu Dhabi random guy, buys the whole 50% stake, I mean, where does that leave the rest of the normal investors? Where does that leave our favorite Justin Sun? And where does that leave the Trump boys and Trump himself? Donald. So, bit strange, right? I don't know how specifically it is divided. Maybe that is correct. I don't know. But the open pre-sale thing, it was only a certain chunk of it, even if it wasn't that much. I don't know. A lot of it seems manipulatable because a huge percent of the company is owned by the insider wallets, right? To the point where they actually managed to take over, take control, lose its decentralization, and freeze wallets when Justin Sun started doing this mass selling like he normally does, making lots of accounts to sell off, kind of vindicating what his ex-girlfriend, accused him of, which we covered yesterday, saying, yeah, he would make lots of accounts with different phone numbers on Binance to artificially pump his own project, his Tron project, I think it was, that she was discussing. I don't know what she was talking about. So it's interesting, right? There's that. What else do we got? White House calls crypto and banks to the table. Today, apparently, there was a meeting. The White House will meet with crypto firms and banks at 1 p.m. Eastern Time today to discuss the crypto market structure bill. The talks aim to break a deadlock over how stablecoin yields should be treated. Of course, we see how these are literally the polar opposites, quite literally. Brian Armstrong is completely against this all, and Brad Garlinghouse from XRP, Ripple, is completely in favor of it all. It's like, well, it's better than nothing. It's good to have this thing. But Brian Armstrong's like, no, this sucks. I'd rather have nothing at all because it sucks. It's terrible. It's going to ruin everything. So there's that little... They're both crypto guys of major companies. Who do we listen to? So we're bringing them to the table to have all that discussion. Attendees are expected to include Coinbase, Ripple, Circle, Wall Street, banking groups such as the American Bankers Corporation. And it already happened, of course, today. So the conclusion, President Trump executive director says today's White House meeting between the crypto and banking industries was constructive, fact-based, and most importantly, solutions-oriented. What are the solutions, my guy? Details, Grok? Crypto Council Exec Director Bo Hines called it constructive fact. Okay, that's what this is Bo Hines' words. The guy's not even there in the White House anymore. He works for Tether. What is he opining about this for? No major announcements yet. Talks are still ongoing. Boring. So literally it's a nothing burger then. It's a good start though. Don't get me wrong. I want a black pill for this, but it's a good start and a step in the right direction. It focuses over stablecoin legislation like the Clarity Act. Positives include constructive talks, fostering compromise on yields, potential to advance bipartisan bills, and signals of regulatory clarity to boost U.S. crypto innovation, because that is what we need. Key attendees, yeah, we know, the big dogs. Okay, cool. Good to know. So that's at least in the process. The Genius Act, on the other hand, prosecutors are sounding the alarm on it. The New York Attorney General, Letitia James, get her out, and 4 district attorneys warned that the Genius Act could provide legal cover for stablecoin fraud. Oh no. They accused Tether and Circle of being incentivized not to fully cooperate with law enforcement by freezing funds selectively while still profiting. Funds stolen or converted into USDT will never be frozen, seized, or returned. What? Funds stolen or converted to USDT will never be frozen, seized, or returned. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. It's literally centralized by one company, Tether, and same with USDC by Circle. They have the power to freeze your crypto. They have done it in the past, so I don't know what they're talking about. They're fear-mongering, unless I'm reading into it wrong. Here's awesome stuff. Because of this government shutdown, the partial shutdown, The Bureau of Labor Statistics will not release the January jobs report on Friday. Let's go. No non-farm payroll data on Friday. The only thing that I was looking forward to this week is gone. So that's getting delayed. I don't know until when. They're saying that this shutdown is supposed to last until Wednesday or something. What does Polymarket say? It's my only reliable source. What do I look up here for this shutdown? Oh, here it is. How long will the shutdown last? Literally first thing. More than 4 days. Okay. I mean, we're at the 4th day already, aren't we? It started on this January 31st. 1, 2, today's the 3rd day. Tomorrow will be the 4th day. People, of course, are expecting that, unless I'm late to the party here in time zones or something. 5+ days. 6+ days. Not a lot of expectation for over 10 days. 3% chance of that. Or is it over? Or is it over now? What? How am I? I'm so confused. All right. Anyways, seems like it's not going to last for long either way. Like, it's not going to be like a record-setting shutdown like we saw last year, which was crazy. But yeah. So at least there's that going for us. But still, the delaying of the jobs report, kind of annoying. But whatever. Hey, we at least didn't get the ISM data delayed. That's something. So we got this economic data. ISM manufacturing PMI data just came in at a 40-month high of 52.6. If you don't know what these numbers mean, neither do I. Expected was 48.5, so it came in came in below expectations. Oh no, above expectations. I cannot do math at all. Anything of ISM above 50, allegedly, is bullish for markets. I don't know like, fact check me, please. I don't know what this means. But hey, if that's what we got, if we got 52.6, anything above 50 is bullish for markets. I guess we didn't crash today, so there's that going for us. I mean, we're on our way down right now as I speak. Dude, I feel like I should buy at the end of my streams because crypto just seems to crash as soon as I buy, so whatever. And now this whole ISM stuff could be an indicator for an alt season in 2026. I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. I don't think we're going to get an alt season in 2026. We're in a bear market. There's no alt season. Sorry. Today, ISM came in at 52.6, the highest reading in the last 40 months. That puts the US manufacturing back into expansion. Historically, strong alt seasons only started after the ISM began trending higher. In both 2017 and 2021, the biggest alt season began after ISM pushed above 55%. We're not at the 55% level yet, but this is the first sign that the macro condition blocking alt season has started to fade. This is how it begins. I mean, that kind of works, yeah. This is the 55 line if you look at this chart here. This red horizontal line is 55. Every time ISM has started coming in above that, like I said, we just saw 52 recently, so we're about to get there right now. But every time that we have had ISM above this level, we've had an alt season. It's happened in 2017, it's happened in 2021, and then it's crashed, bear market, etc. And here we are right now, on our way up. Who's to say that maybe, I don't know, next time we get this data, it won't be at 55, and then maybe we do get the alt season. That's kind of what this thing is projecting. We will see, man. We will see. I'm not going to completely rule out an alt season. Like, sure, we can get it, because trillions exist. All we need is that to come into the market, and that's it. You have your alt season. Congratulations. Everything 2x'd in price at least once, including Bitcoin. So, you know, it's only a matter of time. And that was kind of my thoughts in entering 2026, January. I thought, you know what? We're expecting a lot of money to come into the markets because it exists. Money supply, liquidity, quantitative easing coming soon, rate cuts. Everything was pointing in the right direction. New Fed chair, Powell out, etc. All of this was supposed to be bullish for markets. It was only bullish for gold and silver. We had the trillions of dollars going into gold and silver, and maybe some other commodities, some other metals. But for the wrong reasons. And crypto just did not rise at all. It rose a little bit, but it was pretty pathetic, the rise. Ultimately, as soon as commodities bubble pops, crashes, So does crypto, because screw you, that's why. So we start going lower, and here we are now. Everything is a little down. But we do know that at some point... Can I please open this? This number was... This used to be 20 trillion, man. I've been streaming since gold had a 20 trillion market cap. Here we are, watching it grow at 33 trillion. It was about to hit 40 trillion. Really close to that. Where is all the money? That is what a lot of people are asking. We only need one of these trillion to come into crypto, to Bitcoin. And that should get us above 100,000 pretty easily. Close, if not already, toward all-time high. Only 1 trillion. That's all we need. Trump's got to do something for midterm election. He wants the economy to do well. He wants the stock markets at all-time high. He wants the votes for midterms. He has to do something. He even talked about crypto in today's little press conference thing that we talked about. He's aware of it. He's gonna have to do something, surely. So, yes, I know I'm putting my faith in Trump. Whatever, dude. Grok Imagine 1.0 launches. Make cinematic HD photos and animate your photos. Wasn't that already a thing? Anyways. How does Michael Saylor do this, guys? He has a talent of buying the tops or something. So MicroStrategy has purchased a pathetically low amount of 855 bitcoins, $75 million. Where's the billion-dollar purchases that we so love? Yeah, he did it last time. It's okay. We'll give him a pass. Fine. But these are low prices. Come on. We just saw Bitcoin make a new yearly low or a 6-7 month low. Sorry, didn't mean to say that. So here we are. 87,974 average purchase price this week. How do you manage to buy at 87,000? Did we even see that? We saw 87,000 over here. Hey, stop it. These things are getting in the way, the trade markings. Can I just... There we go. Thank you. Gosh. 87,900. He bought it on January 28th, and that was a Wednesday. He bought it on Wednesday. Because it's literally impossible for you to buy it at that price unless you got completely destroyed in an OTC deal. That's the only explanation that I could see for that. Because he does usually buy OTC. That's why we never see a direct impact on the price, an impulse on the price, whenever there's these big buys that he makes. Pika Pooch, hi. Thoughts on Bitminer? I will talk about Bitminer soon. We do have news on Tom Lee and everything, so I'll get there. I'll give my thoughts on it in a sec. So, yeah, of course, Peter Schiff will take a dig at Michael Saylor for all this. Says, your last buy was just under 88,000, but Bitcoin fell below 75,000 over the weekend, and it's still below 78,000. More than 10,000 below your average purchase price. How did you do that, and why didn't you buy the dip? I have the same questions. And here's obviously confirmation. MicroStrategy's average price is 76,000. Yeah, confirmed. This guy saw red numbers over the weekend. We have Bitcoin at 75, 74,000. Not pretty. So, I don't know. He's got a talent for this. But, I mean, God bless Michael Saylor for being autistic and still buying. In a good way. His autism saved him from the hands of Epstein. We have confirmation of that, too. The freaking lady, what is her name? I forgot her name, dude. She was pro Jeffrey Epstein. And she's like, dude, how do we blackmail Michael Saylor? He's so weird. He's got nothing. How do I do it? Michael Saylor's so weird. And they were talking about him in like, at a relevant time. What year would it have been? 2016 or something? I don't know. So yeah. Do I want to talk about this first? I guess I do. Okay, we'll talk about Binance here. The Seifu Fund Asset Conversion Progress Update. They sold 1 billion, as we've confirmed yesterday. No, it wasn't Maxwell. It was some other news reporter that we've talked about. I Googled her yesterday. I forgot her name, honestly. Hold on. I want to find it. If I could find... Yeah, I'm literally going through my search history to find this. Yesterday. Oh, this is 2 days ago. That is too long. Yesterday, here it is. Peggy Siegel. That's her name. She's this lady. American publicist who wrote for Jeffrey Epstein, who wrote something, articles, magazines, I don't know. Jeffrey Epstein's official publicist. Oh, she was not that. She was very well connected, but her direct ties to Epstein came out only in blah blah blah. But they talked about Michael Saylor at the time. They're like, dude, how do we blackmail the guy? How do we get him? He's not into underage girls. So come on. Anyways, it was funny. So for Binance here, the Seifu fund asset conversion, we know that the guy sold 1 billion behind our backs. He said that he would buy the 1 billion over time, admittedly, if Bitcoin crashes below 80,000. Well, here we are. No $1 billion buy yet. He did start somewhere though. 100 million so far purchased from the Seifu funds. Still another 900 million to go. Clock is ticking. I don't know how long we'll be under 80,000, so you better hurry up. We're continuing to acquire Bitcoin for the Seifu fund, aiming to complete conversion of the fund within 30 days of our original announcement. They basically have this reserve of $1 billion in stablecoins, which they will now be converting into Bitcoin, and they will be buying Bitcoin in little chunks at a time until the $1 billion is fully converted into Bitcoins. Because they expect that these are low prices for Bitcoin, and they expect, of course, Bitcoin's prices to rise, and they rather have their fund rise with Bitcoin's price. So that's at least good conviction. But it was strange because we also had rumors that they sold off $1 billion just out of nowhere in Bitcoin. So it's like, dude, what are we even doing anymore? The people are not happy with CZ, of course. He got scared, and he's like, guys, you know what? Screw the super cycle. You guys are causing too much FUD. I'm scared. I'm staying out of it now. That was his response to it all. So, somebody will throw something at his face soon. The odds of this, I don't even know why this is a thing on Polymarket. Will someone throw something at CZ's face at whatever event in 2026? There's about an 80% chance that that happens. Over $7 million in volume. Hate against CZ is getting wild. Stop CZ hate. We love the guy. Please leave him alone. Justin Sun, on the other hand, well, he's a whole different chapter of the book. Justin said he will do the same thing, I guess. Buy up to $1 million of Bitcoin for Tron's treasury. He says that the strategy aims to capitalize on lower Bitcoin prices. So, they're both Chinese. They both probably know what they're doing, or maybe something criminal is about to happen, who knows. But yeah, he's going to be doing the same thing that Binance is doing with their Seifu fund, except at a smaller scale. It's only 100 million. Come on, dude, you can do better than that. I know you've got a couple billion hiding in there. Justin Sun net worth. Come on. Give us $1 billion of Bitcoin buys. You can do it. The guy's worth 8.5 billion. Come on now. 100 million? What are you, GameStop? That was another thing too, right? GameStop also sold their Bitcoins. They had also $8 billion of cash on hand in their company's reserves. Cash on hand as of October. $8.83 billion. Guys, I'm friends with Michael Saylor, said Ryan Cohen, CEO of GameStop. I'm gonna follow him and only him on Twitter. I'm gonna post a picture of the two of us. I'm gonna buy Bitcoin. He's convinced me. I'm raising money to buy Bitcoin, guys, so donate over here. He raises $1 billion. He decides to only use half of that to buy Bitcoin. Arguably at a questionable price. I forget what was the average price. Probably 90-something thousand, I think. Which, yeah, he could have taken profits as Bitcoin rose to 126. If only he knew. Well, I guess he's seeing these prices still at 90 or 80,000 and dropping. Luckily, he's already out by 70,000 where we are now. But yeah, so already deleted that, unfollowed Michael Saylor, deleted anything Bitcoin or crypto related, and still has $8 billion just rotting away to inflation. So hey, have fun staying poor, I guess. Here's Tom Lee. Let's talk about Bitmine. So their Ethereum holdings rose to 4.285 million after acquiring another 41,788 Ethereums, worth $96.9 million over the past week. So he's not making Michael Saylor type buys, but at the same time he is, like the small scale buys at least. That's not too bad though, fine. And Ethereum is a smaller cap compared to Bitcoin, of course, the magnitude of Bitcoin, the proportionality. So I think it's a decent buy overall. He now owns roughly 3.6% of Infinity because Ethereum's supply is infinity, albeit it's not inflationary, so Ethereum is fine. But the question is, where do you draw the line? Here is his, well, him talking about it as well. Bitmine provided an update on its ETH and cash holdings. As they note, there is zero debt. That is great for Bitmine. 4.3 ETH earning staking rewards. What is this? Do you mean 1M, like 4.3 million Ethereum, is currently earning staking rewards at 2.81% or better? It's not that good of a yield, but okay. $586 million worth of cash is earning money out of yield markets, about 3.5 to 3.9%. That's okay. It's better than bonds. And the company built to ride out ETH and crypto volatility, so he does not care that Ethereum is on its way down. Now, he is also a little bit too bullish with his price predictions. I mean, he's been predicting like tens of thousands of dollars for Ethereum by a certain amount of time. Like, it was predicting it for end of 2025, and now it's, you know, by 2026. He even predicted Bitcoin at 100 and what even was it, 170,000 by the end of January. Well, here we are at 70,000, so great. He's a little too bullish, but seems like he's got his company under control, which is the good stuff, I guess. How do I even explain it? Here is also the... Is this the official page for Bitmine? Looks like it is. Okay, cool. Thread talking about everything here as well. $90 million in staking. All of this stuff in staking, so they're earning passive income with it all. The balance sheet of Bitmine, as noted above, $10 billion worth of crypto investments, 4.3 million Ethereum is earning staking rewards, as we talked about. Tom Lee, Bitmine is in a position to ride out crypto volatility while earning recurring income and staking rewards. There is no pressure to sell any Ethereum at these levels because there is no debt, covenants, or other restrictions or provisions. Is there actually no debt? Can I confirm this? BMNR. Yep. Total debt. It's not a lot. 1.88 million as of May 30, 2025. These numbers are not updated, so they're claiming zero debt, and it's been almost a year now, so I guess we can only believe them. Sure. And a lot of staking. It seems like it's all just staking is what they're saying, and we don't got to worry about crypto volatility. That's what the bottom line is from here. Here's the weekly buys that we've been making. Okay, not too bad. And it seems like their biggest buy was recently, actually, 41,000 Ethereum tokens. Each time they've been increasing their buys since December of last year. Actually, no, there's 98,000 right here. I'm blind. Hey, you're lacking. And there's also 44,000. I'm just blind, okay? December, they did buy a lot. January, they slowed down the buying suspiciously as price goes down. Why do they do this? Why do you buy more when price is high, and then you buy less when price is low? What's the logic behind that? You should be doing the opposite. But if only they knew, right? Crypto winter down. Crypto winter down. What, you don't expect we have a crypto winter? What is this? Surging higher? What is this analysis that they're doing? What is this? 2026 transactions are surging higher. Prices should follow transactions. Okay, that is a good point. Yes, Ethereum has kind of regained its popularity with the Fusaka upgrade. Transactions are now actually viable. They're not that expensive. And a little faster. So that's kind of like diminished Solana and the other Solana killers. Aptos, Sui, Sonic, Say. So now you have Ethereum just back in the game. Back to being normal. But still, it's not performing well, right? Bitmine is one of the most widely traded stocks in the US. Is that so? Yeah, we'll see. What do you say, Pika Pooch? I'm down 80% in Bitmine. Should I hold, assuming I have a 1-year horizon? Or do you anticipate ETH will get back to 4,500 within a 1-year time frame? Good question. I do think it will start rising once again. We don't deserve to be this low for Ethereum. We saw these same prices even last year. That's one thing though, is with Ethereum, it's just such a strange asset. The most useless news will cause it to crash significantly. Like we'll get a 10% tariff on aluminum on an irrelevant country, and then you have a 30% crash in Ethereum. It's happened last year. We saw these new lows that we haven't seen since God knows when. And yet, like I'm talking about 1,300 Ethereum, I think was the lowest ever. Not ever, but like last year, right? Crazy, impossible low prices, 1,384. And yet we still recovered and made a no all-time high, basically, at 4,957. So can we do the same thing this year? If indeed this 4-year cycle is dead, overall Ethereum has been in its own little uptrend, and I don't expect it to drop all the way down here, but then I don't know, sometimes you do have to expect the unexpected. But seriously though, like anything below 2,000, why? Doesn't really make sense to me. Uptrend invalidation changes at 3,600 in the weekly chart, which opens this roof to about 4,000 for sure. I don't know about 5,000 or an all-time high yet, though, depending on how Bitcoin specifically does. That's why I'm mainly focusing on Bitcoin, because Ethereum is not going to make an all-time high if Bitcoin does not even cross 100,000 in the next year. But I do believe Bitcoin will do that, and that we might even approach a new all-time high. We see the money exists, and it can happen. So, yeah. I do believe that it will be back on the rise. As for Bitmine specifically, though, I haven't invested in their company, honestly, but I'm always seeing what they're doing. It's basically like another fund. I think you might just be better off buying into Ethereum, because people have argued, like, why add this additional risk of, you know, the weight of a company that could fail is on your shoulders if you invest in something that invests in something else, right? You're investing in Bitmine, which invests in only Ethereum. Well, if you're only investing into Bitmine because you expect Ethereum to do well, why not just invest in Ethereum itself, right? And you own those tokens yourself. What if Bitmine decides to one day just change their whole company policy? What if they decide to go bankrupt? What if they suddenly start accumulating debt somehow? Although they say that they can withstand the volatility or whatever. I mean, we kind of had the same narrative with Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, right? And now Strategy is performing worse than Bitcoin. You were better off holding Bitcoin. Sure, you did take advantage of the volatility that MicroStrategy brought during Bitcoin's rise to 100,000 and all-time high ultimately. But now that things have kind of cooled off or gone back to their fair value, Bitcoin, well, here we are, and look how low MicroStrategy is. Basically worse off than before Trump even won the elections, right? I don't have the MicroStrategy chart in front of me, so I have to like visualize it in my brain. Might as well just pull it up since I'm talking about it. Yeah, we're basically over here. September 2024 lows. If Clarity Act gets passed, will it moon? A lot of stuff will do well once Clarity Act passes, but I don't know. I'm nervous it's going to be another nothing burger, the Clarity Act. Although they say, you know, it's supposed to help with crypto, it's supposed to stop the manipulation, etc. So it will be good in the long run, always. It can't hurt it. So it should be good overall. But having an immediate reaction toward the upside once that Clarity Act passes, I don't know. I think we're going to base it off of probabilities, try to predict it beforehand. Before we see any actual major moves, right? Unless something surprising, of course, comes out. Because traders like to anticipate stuff before they actually happen. That's what moves the prices. We don't wait for an event to actually happen and then the price starts moving. We try to anticipate that movement. As of right now, Clarity Act odds of being passed, it just keeps getting delayed and it gets boring. Do we even have a poll for this? Clarity Act signed into law, 64% chance. So that's another thing you have to keep into consideration. If these odds are higher, it's likely that it's already being priced in. So don't expect too much of a big movement. You will still get a nice movement, right? But you'll notice it in smaller charts, not really for bigger charts. That's what I'd say with Clarity Act. So staking rewards, which aren't great, yeah. Plus moonshot investments like Beast Industries. Maybe with Beast Industries, I don't know how well they're going to do. I haven't really looked much into what Mr. Beast is doing. Maybe. Maybe it might work out. It's always good to like be a speculative investor if you know something might actually take off. So yeah, that's up to you though. I don't know. Yeah, makes sense that it's being priced in. Exactly. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it all. My last post on Bitmine. The unrealized losses, they're losing a lot too. Like, this is pretty discouraging to see. So it makes sense why the guy had to come out and say, guys, relax. He's doing damage control, right? It's okay, guys. The volatility, we can support it. We can suck it up. We'll be fine, you know? Their unrealized loss Ethereum rises to $6.6 billion loss. Don't you mean it drops? Okay. They're down 42%, their total profit. Jeez, man. Is this billions? Yeah. Their current balance is 9 billion. That's total amount of Ethereum that they have purchased, year to date at least. They're down 6 million. No, 6 billion. That sucks. Total invested is 15 billion. Here it is. That is a lot. That is a lot. What if they eventually do have to sell something off because of, I don't know, maybe a lawsuit? They feel they're forced to liquidate some of their assets. They're going to take a huge chunk, and the stock price is not going to reflect well. That's why I would, like, rather than buying into Bitmine, just rather hold Ethereum if you do truly trust an Ethereum project, right? For now, though, I'm staying out of alts specifically, and I'm sticking only with Bitcoin because we might actually just be in a bear market too. Like, I'm not going to rule out that possibility either if the 4-year cycle is still intact. So I'd rather stay out of it. Stay out of alts. Should have gotten out of it ever since Bitcoin crossed its weekly trend invalidation, right, toward the downside, which would have happened at 97,000, which I saw that happen live. I ignored the signal. I wrote it out, got liquidated, learned a lesson, right? It is what it is. We move on from it. Also, Vitalik is not helping at all. The guy, the founder of Ethereum, he's selling his Ethereum. He's sold so far 493 ETH, which is about $1.16 million in the past 8 hours. Why would you sell at these low prices? He sold another $500,000 worth of Ethereum as well 20 minutes ago as of 12:30, so at noon today. And it's transferred to Canro. I don't know what Canro is, but yeah. Bitcoin's always safe, yes. Do I have a target low for Bitcoin? Any time frame on that? I think by middle of this year, 66,000, lowest ever possible. By then, it's not allowed to go lower than that because of an analysis that I've made where I've shown it in the Coinbase chart for Bitcoin. I guess I'll show it again because I haven't talked about it in a while. But you see these lines? These lines basically represent elections of American presidents. November 4 or November 7, whatever the week would be. In 2016, Trump gets elected. Bitcoin's price, 685. Okay? We have our bull market. We rise, we drop, bear market. How low did we go? 3,000. Did we ever see 600 before the election happened? Ever again? Never. Okay, great. Fast forward. 2020 elections. Biden gets elected. Trump election gets stolen. Lovely. That's a joke, by the way. Bitcoin's price, 13,000. Okay, great. We have our bull run. We make our double peak and we drop. How low do we go? 15,460. Did we see 13,000 ever again? Never. Lovely. 2024 elections. Donald beats Kamala. Here we go. Bitcoin's price, 66,000. And that's what I'm basing my numbers off of. We make a double roof. Beautiful. Potential bear market. How low can we go? No lower than 66,000. Potentially ever again. That's the way I'm seeing stuff, right? And I've even gone as far as betting on Polymarket that Bitcoin will not go below 65,000 by end of this year. I've bet no on that. And I'm losing heavily right now because market sentiment is bearish. But when it starts turning bullish again, when an inevitable turnaround happens, if it does happen soon, or whether we stay low for February, whatever the case may be, I don't expect Bitcoin to go lower than 66,000. And I didn't know, why did I click that? Oh yeah. So I'm expecting something like this to happen by end of the year. It has to. Trump wants these markets at a high point, or at least close to all-time high, because of midterm elections. He wants the economy to be doing well, and he wants to secure votes. He's not going to get a lot of votes if, you know, the crypto bros are dissatisfied with how the crypto market has been performing. Sure, we did go okay. We rose to an all-time high. We cannot be greedy about it. We hit 126,000. That was great. We all had our profits. I've made a couple $100,000. It was beautiful. And then unprecedented drop as well. Trump gives, Trump takes away. You know, October 10, he decides to announce 100% tariff on China, and we lose it all. Simple as that, right? So yeah. Great, thank you. Gonna put some money into that. Well, best of luck for it. ETH low would be, dude, I don't know. For ETH low, if we do follow like this uptrend line, I wouldn't expect lower than 1,500. However low this takes us, right? 1,600 before we see like a bounce at these uptrend lines. And I'm using these uptrend lines from like super long term as like a worst possible case scenario that we could ever see. But I mean, these have been broken and pushed away multiple times. So at this point, like I can't give you like an actual low, but dude, yeah, I'd say like absolute worst of worst. If we see like 66,000 Bitcoin or close to it, maybe 1,500 ETH is what I would target for. Garrett Jin made a lot on October 10. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you've been shorting, absolutely. I don't know who that is though, but depends on what your positioning was, right? There's tactical ways to play it. But man, crazy day, October 10. Lovely. So, I guess we'll talk about Ripple too. They scored full Europe money license. Great. Finally, some good news for Ripple. Ripple has officially received a full electronic money institution license from Luxembourg's regulator. This means Ripple can now operate regulated digital payment services across EU nations. This strengthens real-world use cases for Ripple's native assets like XRP, XRPL, and RLUSD. Does anybody even use those? Not I. I think I talked about this insider trade earlier this year. Representative Lisa McCain purchased $250,000 of the private stock in Elon Musk's XAI. Yeah, I did talk about this, absolutely. She sits on the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Cyber Information Technologies and Innovation, and the US military is using XAI's Grok, right? And it was done by her spouse, which we covered. Well, today, SpaceX has acquired XAI. Elon Musk buys Elon Musk's company. How crazy is that? And of course, XAI's private stock skyrockets, and she's made a little bit of money. So there you go. How she does this, God knows. But hey, at least we saw on Hyperliquid you can trade it. I think. Let me go back to Asia. Hyperliquid. I visit often. That is a lie. I only visited it like twice or 3 times this month. And 2 of those times were in the stream. OpenAI is here, but where's XAI? That's the beauty of like tokenized stocks, is you could speculatively trade private stocks. SpaceX is here. It's up 4%. Do we have XAI? I don't think we do. Unless it's robot. I doubt it's robot. What is robot, dude? I'm assuming this is like an ETF or something. I don't know. What do you even call this chart pattern? Weird stuff, dude. Okay, let's look at SpaceX at least, though. Has it been benefiting? Looks like it has been. This is expected to have a $1.5 trillion IPO. Trillion, right? I think I said that right. I have to look at... this is going to be the same as Tesla. Yeah, 1.5 trillion. Which would make Elon Musk essentially the world's first trillionaire once the IPO, once SpaceX becomes public on the markets, which is expected to happen later this year. Yeah. And yeah, private companies can be traded on tokenization. That's why we love it. I'm pro tokenize stocks, tokenize everything, put it all on the blockchain, put the US government debt on the blockchain, and then wipe it clean. Easiest way to solve the $37 trillion debt that we have. So yeah, anyways, that's where we are today. Lovely. That's all the news I had to cover. Wow, big fat stream. This looks so messy. I might just delete the Fibonacci lines. I mean, we got the point, right? 86, 85,000 major resistance for Bitcoin, where I would expect it to rise to and potentially rebound off of. That's kind of my vision for it. So, yep, be careful. That's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be on Wednesday. Tomorrow, nothing will happen because I will not be streaming. The world kind of pauses when I don't stream, so that's actually false. Like, everything like 2x's in intensity when I stop streaming, so that I have to make an enormous stream the day after. Anyways, that's... never mind. It's an inside joke. No, really though, nothing is actually happening tomorrow. Jolts, no one cares about that. That is on Wednesday, ISM, PMI again, and then we're not getting non-farm payroll data anymore. See, it's been deleted. You see, non-farm payrolls, you don't get the time for it anymore. So that's been delayed because of this excuse of a government shutdown that we have, which is awesome. Anyways, yeah. Appreciate it, Pika. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. I will see you then on Wednesday, all right? Have a great rest of your